Hi, it's Grammy B here, and I'm here to read you another story from Winnie the Pooh. Today I'm reading chapter 6, in which Eeyore has a birthday and gets 2 presents. I don't have a real stuffed animal for Eeyore. I do have Winnie the Pooh here. But here's Eeyore's little picture, and we'll see him later. He's right here. There he is, down by the water. All right, let's get started. Eeyore, the old gray donkey, stood by the side of the stream and looked at himself in the water. Pathetic, he said. That's what it is, pathetic. He turned and walked slowly down the stream for 20 yards, splashed in it, and walked slowly back on the other side. And then he looked at himself in the water again. As I thought, he said. No better on this side. But nobody minds. Nobody cares. Pathetic. That's what it is. There was a crackling noise in the bracken behind him, and out came Pooh. Good morning, Eeyore, said Pooh. Good morning, Pooh Bear, said Eeyore gloomily. If it is a good morning, which I doubt, said he. Why, what's the matter? As I turn the page, I'll just say, yep, here he is, looking in the water, gloomily. Nothing, Pooh Bear, nothing. We can't all, and some of us don't. That's all there is to it. Can't all what? Said Pooh, rubbing his nose. Gaiety, song, and dance, here we go round the mulberry bush. Oh, said Pooh. He thought for a long time, and then he said, What mulberry bush is that? Bon on me, said Eeyore gloomily. French word meaning bon on me, he said. I'm not complaining, but there it is. Pooh sat down on a large stone, and he tried to think it out. It sounded to him like a riddle, and he was not much good at riddles, being a bear of very little brain. So he sang Cottleston Pie instead. Cottleston, Cottleston, Cottleston Pie. A fly can't bird, but a bird can fly. Ask me a riddle and I'll reply. Cottleston, Cottleston, Cottleston Pie. Well, that was the first verse. When he had finished it, Eeyore didn't actually say that he didn't like it, so Pooh very kindly sang the second verse to him. Cottleston, Cottleston, Cottleston Pie. A fish can't whistle, and neither can I. Ask me a riddle, and I reply. Cottleston, Cottleston, Cottleston Pie. Eeyore still said nothing at all, so Pooh hummed the third verse quietly to himself. Cottleston, Cottleston, Cottleston Pie. Why does a chicken, I don't know why, ask me a riddle and I reply. Cottleston, Cottleston, Cottleston Pie. That's right, said Eeyore. Sing tiddly, umpty tiddly, umpty too. Here we go gathering nuts in May. Enjoy yourself. I am, said Pooh. Some can, said Eeyore. Why, what's the matter? Is anything the matter? You seem sad, Eeyore. Sad? Why should I be sad? It's my birthday, the happiest day of the year. Your birthday, said Pooh with great surprise. Of course it is, can't you see? Look at all the presents I've had. He waved his foot from side to side. Look at the birthday cake, candles and pink sugar. Pooh looked first to the right, then to the left. Presents, said Pooh. Birthday cake where? Can't you see them? No, said Pooh. Neither can I, said Eeyore. Joke, he explained. Ha ha. Pooh scratched his head, being a little puzzled by all this. Is it really your birthday? He asked. It is. Oh, well, many happy returns of the day, Eeyore. Many happy returns to you, Pooh Bear. But it isn't my birthday. No, it's mine. But you said many happy returns. Well, why not? You don't always want to be miserable on my birthday, do you? Oh, I see, said Pooh. It's bad enough, said Eeyore, almost breaking down. Being miserable myself, what with no presents and no cake and no candles, no proper notice taken of me at all. But if everybody else is going to be miserable too. Oh, that was way too much for Pooh. Stay there, he said to Eeyore. And he turned and he hurried back home as quick as he could, for he felt he must get poor Eeyore a present of some sort at once, and he could always find a proper one later. Outside his house, he found Piglet, jumping up and down and trying to reach the knocker. Hello, Piglet, says Winnie the Pooh. And Piglet, here he is. Okay. Jumping up and down, trying to reach the door knocker. Hello, Pooh, said Piglet. What are you trying to do? I was trying to reach the knocker, said Piglet. I just came round. Let me do it for you, said Pooh. So he reached up and he knocked on the door. I've just seen Eeyore, he said. Poor Eeyore is in a very sad condition because it's his birthday and nobody's taken notice of it. And he's very gloomy. And you know what Eeyore is. And there he was. And what a long time whoever lives here is answering this door. So he knocked again. But Pooh, said Piglet, this is your own house. Oh, said Pooh, so it is. Well, let's go in. So in they went, and the first thing Pooh did was go to the cupboard and see he had quite a small jar of honey left, and so he took it down. I'm giving this to Eeyore, he said, as a present. What are you going to give him? Oh, couldn't I give that too, said Piglet, from both of us? No, said Pooh, that would not be a good plan. All right, then I'll give him a balloon. I've got one left from my party. I'll go get it now, shall I? That, Piglet, is a very good idea. It's just what Eeyore wants to cheer him up. Nobody can be uncheered with a balloon. So off Piglet trotted, and in the other direction went Pooh with his jar of honey. Well, it was a warm day, and he had a very long way to go, and he hadn't gone more than halfway when a sort of funny feeling started to creep over him. It began in the tip of his nose, and it trickled all through him and out the soles of his feet. It was just as if somebody inside of him was saying, Now then, Pooh, it's time for a little something. Dear, dear, said Pooh, I didn't know it was. Here he is with his jar of honey. I didn't know it was as late as that. So he sat down and he took the top off the jar of honey. Lucky I brought this with me, he said. Many a bear going out on a warm day like this would never have thought of bringing a little something with him, and he began to eat. Now let me see, he thought, and he took his last lick inside the jar. Where was I going? Oh yes, to see Eeyore, and he got up slowly. And then suddenly he remembered he had eaten Eeyore's birthday present. Oh bother, said Pooh, what shall I do? I must give him something. For a little while he couldn't think of anything, and then he thought, well, it's a very nice pot, even if there's no honey in it. And if I washed it clean, I get somebody to write a happy birthday on it, Eeyore could keep things inside it, which might be useful. And as he was just passing the 100-acre wood, he went inside to call on Owl, who lived there. Good morning, Owl, he said. Good morning, Pooh, said Owl. And many happy returns of Eeyore's birthday, said Pooh. Oh, is that what it is? And what are you giving him, Owl? What are you giving him, Pooh? I'm giving him a useful pot to keep things in, and I wanted to ask you, is this it? Asked Owl, taking it out of Pooh's paw. Yes, and I want to ask you. Somebody's been keeping honey in it, said Owl. Well, you can keep anything in it, said Pooh earnestly. It's very useful like that. And I wanted to ask you, you ought to write happy birthday on it. Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, said Pooh, because my spelling's wobbly. It's good spelling, but it wobbles. And the letters go in the wrong directions and wrong places. Would you write a happy birthday on it for me? It's a nice pot, said Owl, looking at it all around. Couldn't I give it to from both of us? No, said Pooh, that wouldn't be a good plan. Now I'll just wash it first, and then you can write on it. So he washed the pot out, and he dried it, and while Owl licked the end of his pencil and wondered how to spell birthday. Can you read, Pooh? He asked a little anxiously. There's a notice about knocking and ringing outside my door, which Christopher Robin wrote. Could you read it? Christopher Robin told me what it said, and then I could. Well, I'll tell you what this says, and then you'll be able to. So Al wrote, and this is what he wrote. Hippy, Pappy, the not very good spelling. Pooh looked on admiringly. I'm just saying a happy birthday, said Owl carelessly. It's a nice long one, said Pooh, very much impressed by it. Well, actually, of course, I'm saying a very happy birthday with love from Pooh. Naturally, it takes a good deal of pencil to say a long thing like that. Oh, I see, said Pooh. While all this was happening, Piglet had gone back to his own house to get Eeyore's balloon. He held it very tightly against himself so it shouldn't blow away, and he ran as fast as he could to get to Eeyore before Pooh did, for he thought that he would like to be the first one to give a present, just as if he had thought of it without being told it by anybody. And running along, thinking how pleased Eeyore would be, he didn't look where he was going, and suddenly he put his foot in a rabbit hole, and he fell down flat on his face. Bang! You can guess what happened. Piglet lay there, wondering what had happened. At first he thought the whole world had been blown up, and then he thought perhaps only the forest part of it had, and then perhaps he thought only he had, and he was now alone in the moon or somewhere, and he would never see Christopher Robin or Pooh or Eeyore again. And then he thought, well, even if I'm on the moon, I needn't be face downwards all the time. So he got up and he looked around him, and he was still in the forest. Well, that's funny, he said. I wonder what the bang was. I couldn't have made that noise just falling down. And where's my balloon? And what's that small piece of damp rag doing? It was the balloon. Oh dear, said Piglet. Oh dearie, dearie, dear. Oh, it's too late now. I can't go back, and I haven't another balloon. And perhaps Eeyore doesn't like balloons very much. So he trotted on rather sadly now, and down he came to the side of the stream where Eeyore was, and he called out to him. Good morning, Eeyore, shouted Piglet. Good morning, little Piglet, said Eeyore. If it is a good morning, which I doubt. Not that it matters, he said. And many happy returns of the day, said Piglet, having now got closer. Eeyore stopped looking at himself in the stream and turned to Piglet. Just say that again, he said. Many Wait a moment. Balancing on 3 legs, he began to bring his 4th leg very cautiously up to his ear. I did this yesterday, he explained as he fell down for the 3rd time. It's quite easy. It's so I can hear better. There. That's done it. Now then, what were you saying? And he pushed his ear forward with his hoof. Many happy returns of the day, said Piglet again. Meaning me? Said Eeyore. Of course, Eeyore. My birthday? Yes. Me having a real birthday? Yes, Eeyore, and I've brought you a present. Eeyore took down his right hoof from his right ear, turned around, and with great difficulty put up his left hoof. I must have that in the other ear, he said. Now then. A present, said Piglet very loudly. Meaning me again? Yes. My birthday still? Of course, Eeyore. Me going on having a real birthday? Yes, Eeyore, I brought you a balloon. Balloon, said Eeyore. You did say balloon? One of those big colored things that you blow up? Gaiety, song, and dance. Here we go, and there we are? Yes, but I'm afraid. I'm very sorry, Eeyore, that when I was running along to bring it to you, I fell down. Oh, dear, dear, how unlucky. You ran too fast, I expect. You didn't hurt yourself, little Piglet. No, but oh, Eeyore, I burst the balloon. There was a very long silence. My balloon, said Eeyore at last. Piglet nodded. My birthday balloon. Yes, Eeyore, said Piglet, sniffing a little. Here it is, with many happy returns of the day. And he gave Eeyore the small piece of damp rag. Is this it? Said Eeyore, a little surprised. Piglet nodded. My present? Piglet nodded again. The balloon? Yes. Thank you, Piglet, said Eeyore. You don't mind my asking, he went on. But what color was this balloon? When it was a balloon, it was red. I just wondered. How big was it? It was my favorite color. It was about as big as me. I just wondered. About as big as Piglet, he said sadly. My favorite size. Well, well. Piglet felt very miserable, and he didn't know what to say. He was still opening his mouth to begin something, and then deciding it wasn't any good saying that, when he heard a shout from the other side of the river, and there was Pooh. Many happy returns of the day, called out Pooh, forgetting he had said that already. Thank you, Pooh, I'm having them, said Eeyore gloomily. I've brought you a little present, said Pooh excitedly. I've had it, said Eeyore. Pooh now splashed across the stream to Eeyore, and Piglet was sitting a little way off, his head in his paws, snuffling to himself. It's a very useful pot, said Pooh, and here it is, and it says, a very happy birthday with love from Pooh written on it, and that's what all the writing is. It's for putting things in, there. And when Eeyore saw the pot, he became quite excited. Why, he said, I believe my balloon will go just into that pot. Oh, no, Eeyore, said Pooh. Balloons are much too big to go into this pot. What you do with the balloon is you hold the balloon. Not mine, said Eeyore proudly. Look, Piglet. And as Piglet looked sorrowfully around, Eeyore picked the balloon up with his teeth and put it carefully in the pot, and then picked it out and put it on the ground. Then he picked it up from the ground and he put it back in the pot. So it does, said Pooh. It goes in. So it does, said Piglet, and it comes out. Doesn't it, said Eeyore. It goes in like anything. I'm very glad, said Pooh happily, and I thought of giving you a useful pot to put things in. And I'm very glad, said Piglet happily, that I gave you something useful to put in your useful pot. But Eeyore wasn't listening. He was taking the balloon out and putting it back in, as happy as could be. And didn't I give him something? Asked Christopher Robin sadly. Of course you did, I said. You gave him, don't you remember? A little. I gave him a box of paints to paint things with. That was it. Why didn't I give it to him in the morning? You were so busy getting his party ready for him. He had a cake with icing on top and 3 candles and his name in pink sugar in. Yes, I remember, said Christopher Robin. I think that's it.